Welcome back, farmer apprentices, to another edition of Gardening with Mike the Farmer. Don't forget to grab your tools. And now that we're prepped and ready to go, let's jump right in. But don't forget, like, subscribe, share, and hit that notification bell. That way, anytime I upload any new content, you'll be the first to know. Let's start by removing any strawberry plants and weeds from around the garden. And I'm going to do this using the hand trowel to get a few inches under the roots of the plant and remove them safely to transplant them in containers later. You want to avoid damaging the crown of the plant, and I'll explain that to you later what that means. Now I'm going to do what they call aerating the soil. I'm using my hand trowel to dig a couple of inches in the soil and gently twisting to loosen the compacted soil. This allows airflow into the soil, allows roots to breathe properly, and if the soil is too solid, the roots can't breathe and expand like they should. Now on to removing the strawberry plants from the whiskey barrel. Alright y'all, now that I've loosened my soil and removed most of the weeds, I'm going to start planting. I'm adding dry fertilizer into the soil, which will provide food for the plant in the future. Once the roots grow out into the soil, they'll grow right into the dry fertilizer. Use the guide provided on packaging to determine how much to use per square foot. I can kind of play it by eye because I'm experienced at it, but always go by your packaging. Now thoroughly mix the soil before planting and gently water. You see how I mix that thing up? Stir that pot, don't be afraid. You want to spread that soil and fertilizer around. Once I've removed the plant from the container, I'm going to loosen the roots that have grown in a circle at the bottom. Rip a few off before planting in the ground. This will signal to the plant that it has more space to grow. And do you remember what it was that your roots grow into? That's right. It's the dry fertilizer. As your plant continues to grow and gets larger and those roots spread out, it will grow right into that dry fertilizer that you put into the soil early on. Now, take your shovel to create a hole larger than the container. And once you place that new plant in, add the soil you initially removed. Just don't cover the top of the plant. I'm going to repeat those steps with my lilies and follow that up with a heavy drink of water. Let the water puddle a few times and drain out. Now let's move on to our veggies. We're planting some collards, bell peppers, and jalapenos. Who can tell me the recipe to planting your starts? You got it. You listening? Loosen those roots and clean them up. Add your food and stir that pot. Add your fruits and veggies, and then water as desired. That's your recipe for cooking up a lush home garden. Join my monthly subscription for guides on maintaining your garden throughout the seasons. I cover pruning, weatherizing your garden, and so much more. You can check that out at MikeTheUniversalArtist.com. Now these are the strawberry leaves I was telling you about. And again, I'm going 3 to 5 inches under the soil, starting at 2 inches away, and I'm going to lift that right out, avoiding damaging the crown. Now this is the crown I was telling y'all about. The long root in the center and everything above it. If you damage this in any way, you destroy the whole plant. So be careful. Now, I'm going to make mounds in a small area to plant some beans and peas, or legumes as you will, as well as some basil and marigold seeds. Once I have the desired length and size I want, it's time to plant. I'm going to start with the marigolds and plant them no more than 1 inch down. They look like straw with burnt tips. Space them out about 5 inches apart or more, and you just want to drop them right into the soil and gently cover, but don't press down on them. If you're not sure how deep to plant them, use your finger as a guide. From the tip of your finger to the first line is a general inch. If you have larger seeds, move down midway towards the second line of your finger, and you should be good. Moving on to my beans and peas, you want to label them for identifying later. Now with our herbs, most herbs like basil have small seeds. And with those, you really only need to sprinkle them on top of the soil and then add a thin layer of soil on top of that. You can use a house strainer or water mist to gently water over time to avoid washing them away. Lastly, I'm going to plant a hosta and remove a dead shrub. Don't you judge me, but seriously farmers, you will have some casualties, and that's okay. Alright folks, so we're all done. Here's your garden in bloom. Isn't she marvelous? With a little patience and love, you can build your home garden as well. Now, general rule of thumb for planting seeds. If it's pea size or black-eyed pea size, 1 inch deep is just fine. If it's the size of a dime or larger, 2 inches deep is about as far as you want to go. If it's coarse salt size or smaller, just sprinkle on top of the soil and add a thin layer on top. Now, I hope these tips were helpful to you into building your home sanctuary. I definitely enjoy our time together. But before you go, don't forget, subscribe for me and don't miss that bell tap. And also, subscribe to my monthly tutorials and join me next time on Gardening with Mike the Farmer. And as usual, love yourself, love one another, and keep growing for a better tomorrow.